America's Electric Nazca, Megalithic Marfa, Texas, a book about the discovery of the importance of following the solstice paths connecting megalithic sites around the world. It starts with an intuitive leap as I listen to Zachariah Sitchin, who said the Anunnaki called themselves harvesters of the sun. And as I worked with a blueprint of Stonehenge, I realized it as a tool to harvest the sun at its ripest. One path for the sun to enter and be caught at its altar. Added to the fact of the elongated skulls recently unearthed in a direct area, I followed the solstice lines across the earth. All along the solstice, megaliths were connected exactly, and to at least one pyramid along the path. So I tried the equinox line from the altar of Stonehenge. It connects precisely to the Great Pyramid at Giza, passing from the northwest corner to the southeast corner over the center of the apex. This line connects to the city of Aden in the Sinai Peninsula, of importance because of its obvious biblical reference, but also one of Sumerian chronicles also names it as a laboratory where man was created, even locating it in the Sinai. Following the southerly route, this line connects with Baja California, Mexico City, and Chihuahua Desert through the Zona del Silencio. It comes into the Marfa, Texas Plateau. Taking the northerly path from the Great Pyramid, crossing Stonehenge takes us across the Atlantic Ocean to Newfoundland, Ohio River Valley, and into Marfa, Texas. One connection by a line can be seen as a coincidence, but becomes mathematically impossible with the obvious importance of the sites and locations that are connected. And this, coming up, is the RV I took for 3,000 miles. There's Marfa, Texas Plateau area. The city of Marfa, actually located on top of a multiple geoglyph with a goat, a Bactrian camel, two-humped, and a small giraffe. And this is an actual area map, and we stayed in Alpine, the airport, which is situated just about north where we started this journey. The Mason's Temple actually faces the Marfa Plateau exactly, a little off-center of its actual lot, too. Now, there are at least 4 kinds of lines found on the Marfa Plateau. A dark line, which is found all over the world, but over here it's in shapes. Road line, which is also connected to the geoglyphs, scratch lines, and the raised lines, which are very, very unusual and deserve a lot of research. This is over at the Marfa Lights viewing area, which is beautiful. It has several of these plaques explaining what they think of the area. Although they claim it to be volcanic, I did not see any pumice while I was there. This is a viewing area. It's beautiful, and there's free binoculars in back. You can stay overnight. There's no problem. This is the helicopter I took when I went up there. This is Traveland Helicopters, and that's the helicopter pilot, Louis Traveland, the owner also. He's a great pilot, great guy. This is the airport out of Alpine, Texas. And as you can see, this area is really rugged. Now, the lines do come into the Alpine area, but one little fact is that the whole area in Marfa is about 7,600 feet high. 7,600 feet means that the helicopter that I took could only get up to about a ceiling of 10,000 feet. So I could not get a whole view of the area like it shows in the Google Maps. And this just shows you that some of these lines are fenced, but not all of them. Most of the lines, especially the dark lines, which you can find all over the earth, are actually in the soil. I wanted to show you that this area is just jam-packed with caverns, crevices. There's got to be something subterranean going on here because of the amount of caves. They're everywhere. Beautiful cave. And I wanted to show you again how rugged the area is. It's just beautiful. Although, again, it's claimed to be volcanic, there's no real sign of any kind of volcano there are cones in the area, but the soil itself is it's just infused with crystal. I've never been to a place like it. Now we're coming into the Marfa area itself, and you can start to see traces of these lines everywhere. And they do travel over ridges, over mountain, over valley, and especially in the dark lines. This is one of the cones that I'm talking about. It's a cathedral mount, I believe it's called. And again, caverns, crevices, caves everywhere. There's got to be something underground here. Just beautiful area though. There's no sign of volcanic activity though. If it was a volcano, it had to have been a crystal volcano, because there's nothing but quartz all over in the soil. There's no loose soil out here. It's some kind of a clay, almost a concrete mixture that attaches to the rock itself, the granite, different kinds of, and the granite itself is infused with quartz crystal too. I have several samples that I didn't get in the book, and maybe next time. I just wanted to show you how beautifully rugged this area is. This is coming into the Marfa area here. Now you start to see these lines, and they're not everywhere. They're actually in patterns. And there's the Marfa Plateau itself. You can see the traces of lines. And these are the dark lines that you see. You can also see on your smartphone, Google Earth app, computer, etc. These are the ones that are really noticeable. But it's when you start highlighting them that they become even better. They actually become art, faces, different kinds of items. It's amazing. Now if you look, you'll see these lines coming across the ridges. They're actually there purposely in straight lines over hill and valley. It doesn't matter. Perfectly straight, mile after mile. Some of them up to maybe 100 miles or more. And you might want to dismiss some of these lines, especially the scratch lines. But I've found out there are no unimportant lines. And I just wanted to show you some of the cones here. These actually seem like structures to me. There's a beautiful line going right over the ridge underneath, and when you start really adjusting your eyes, you can see these very plainly. This is one of the reservoirs, and you'll notice that it's got some kind of a metal as a dam. Now this is kind of important because most of the lines attach to water functions, either in reservoir or these little circular wells. And if you'll notice, the plateau itself, the vegetation stops at a line, and I believe it's just outlined. This is one of the structured areas I believe really needs some investigation underground. Just beautiful. But the vegetation is well managed. And you see the lines. These are not fences, by the way. It's part of the soil itself. Now, some of the claims are that there is mica in the area, but mica would shine, and I did not see any evidence of shining. It's more of a dull, dark line, and I don't know how deep it goes. But these are also found all over the world, not in such nice relative circumstances, and when put together with the other types of lines, the road lines, the scratch lines. Now, if you notice, this is a connected area, and the soil actually differs. Notice also that there's a water function to the connection. Again, this is part of the soil, it's not fencing. Although ranchers out here have used the lines as markers, and in some cases they fence areas using the lines, but the vast majority are not fenced. The vast majority are part of the soil. And I did not get a soil sample because of Texas trespassing laws are pretty tough. Most of this is private property, and you actually need to get some kind of written authority to go check these areas. And I'm hoping that with this series of videos, it will overweigh the evidence and force some action out of credentialed associates in the academic field. And no, I don't hold a whole lot of love for the archaeologists because they seem scared of this area. And I don't blame them because there are lots and lots of fossils out here. And if you just follow the mouse, I point out several different kinds of lines, textures. All of these water functions are connected. If you'll notice over through this area, there are these apparent reservoir dams that I showed you at the first, but they're all connected by lines. And some of them don't hold water. Matter of fact, the vast majority don't hold these water, but some do. And you see the lines connected to the water function. I don't know how they do it, but it appears to be a connective area, and they use water to create this plasma effect. I have a feeling that it has to do with the acidic limestone aquifer underneath this quartz cap. Notice that the mounds here seem to be artificial, and there are aged areas. Erosion is just incredible out here. That shows a definite age to it. Now, I believe these are sutures or staples actually holding the art together. And I can't imagine the size of the machine that was able to do this either. I don't imagine a giant did it. It seems too perfect. It's machined. Look at these lines. They go miles and miles over ridges, valleys, gullies. It doesn't matter. They are the connective area to guide electricity or plasma electricity, which is no doubt going in the daytime as well as nighttime. But plasma would actually be more descriptive because it would show why the effect can't be seen during the brightest hours and whatnot. There's a dark line crossing, and you'll see close up here, one side is fenced and the other side is not. Amazing. The roads are actually the same size all throughout. Now, the quartz deposits here are very, very hard material, but the roads go right through the quartz material without any dynamiting, apparently. They've just cut right straight through the quartz. I don't know how that's done, except if you read my book, I believe it's done by pressure. And these people know gravity and pressure and how to use it to create megalithic sites. Again, texture, mosaics, connections. And it has to be electrical. We haven't even got to the good part. Thank you for your review, folks. Have a good day.